Morning, I'm Steven Sprinkle. This is MorningBit. Let's get to it. Top 3 things I think are important today for Bitcoin, and I'm going to be staying a little bit less in the range of news and a little more in the range of big picture for Bitcoin today. And the first thing I think is important is PR for Bitcoin. Thus far, we've seen out of the major institutions that have reported on Bitcoin, either neutral, negative, or sometimes very negative. We've seen less of the positive, and I think largely that's due to the learning curve associated with Bitcoin. It's pretty steep to understand what's going on with it if you're brand new to it. And also the major events that have happened around Bitcoin have largely been theft, money laundering, or illicit activities, and that has not really helped the image of Bitcoin. And so positive PR will really help people get engaged with the currency. Thus far, the news that's come out has given awareness around Bitcoin, but not necessarily engagement. And so once you get that engagement, you get transactional activity, which hopefully leads to the stabilization of the currency in the long run. And it's part of the reason I'm doing what I'm doing, is to help bring that about and bring a voice of a positive perspective towards Bitcoin, to show that it's not necessarily completely associated with those negative activities. So there's a lot of good use cases for Bitcoin in the existing economy for beneficial and positive things. The second thing that I think is really important for Bitcoin is the legalities of starting a company inside of Bitcoin and the tax implications of that. It's really a challenging thing to start a company, at least inside the US, dealing with digital currencies. There's a lot of regulations, and that regulation not being defined yet makes it a really, at least the definition of what Bitcoin and the other digital currencies are, not having that highly defined, makes it a really tricky space to enter. And it's really affected the way that we've structured our company, in that we've had to do a lot of interesting business model augmentations to make our company fit within the regulations of FinCEN without having to do a lot of the overburdensome regulatory compliance. So we've taken a really interesting tact, and I think that's going to be the case with a lot of other companies that are getting into the Bitcoin space, to prevent them from having these massive capital expenses up front. And I suspect that'll be the case in a number of other countries, but if you're in those other countries and running a company, let me know what sort of challenges you're coming up against legally and with taxes. And then the third thing that I think is really important today is that Bitcoin Pulse. I mentioned them a while back, but they've actually gone live with their platform, and it's really cool. It is really cool. Basically, it tracks a lot of the major indicators for Bitcoin. So indicators around engagement, indicators around different activities that are happening inside of Bitcoin, so project development, as well as the overall factors that potentially drive the price of the currency. So I'm really excited. You should go check it out again if you haven't already, and I hope everybody's having a great day. If you are a company, send me a logo, send me some info. I want to get engaged with you, and I want to talk about your company and project here to show other people what you're doing and how that's positively affecting Bitcoin overall. I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.